The Meta Conversions API is still transmitting your purchase history right now, and the FTC can't stop it. You tapped Ask App not to track. Your iPhone confirmed the opt-out. Meta's servers logged it anyway. The system is called the Conversions API. It runs on the retailer's infrastructure, not yours. No setting blocks it. No regulator has. And in this video, I'll show you the internal architecture they buried before anyone figured out what it was. In April 2021, Apple launched App Tracking Transparency. Every app on your iPhone had to ask your permission before sharing your data across platforms. 85% of users said no. Meta called it a catastrophe. They told investors they expected a $10 billion revenue hit in 2022 alone. Mark Zuckerberg stood in front of cameras and said the targeted ad era was over. The press declared Meta's business model broken. And that's exactly what Meta wanted you to believe. Because while every journalist was writing that story, Meta's engineering teams had already shipped the replacement, quietly, inside a product name that sounded like a routine developer tool. The Conversions API, and it worked better than the thing Apple killed. Here's what it actually does. When you visit any retailer running Meta's business tools, and you add something to a cart, enter your email, or complete a purchase, that event doesn't get logged by your browser. It gets logged by the retailer's server directly. Then the retailer's server sends that data straight to Meta. No cookie, no app permission, no device-level handshake that Apple's privacy controls can intercept. Just a direct server-to-server API call. A persistent identifier, your email address, your phone number, your hashed customer record, matches you to your Meta profile on the other end. You never consented to that match. There was no prompt. There is no opt-out. Meta processes the match inside their data centers and feeds it back into your ad profile. Every purchase. Every email you typed into a checkout form, every item you left in a cart at 1 in the morning, and it's still running, the FTC noticed. In 2023, they launched a formal review of Meta's data practices under the 2012 Consent Decree, the original agreement that was supposed to permanently constrain how Meta collected user data. The commission found that Meta had materially expanded its surveillance infrastructure while consumers were operating under the explicit belief that they had opted out. The FTC proposed new privacy restrictions. They fined Meta $5 billion, the largest privacy fine in commission history. Meta signed the paperwork and continued running the Conversions API without modification, because the consent decree said nothing about server-side data collection. The loophole was already there. Meta had already mapped it. This is the part nobody reported. Meta didn't stumble into this loophole. They engineered it. Internal documents surfaced during the Cambridge Analytica congressional hearings included architecture memos from 2018, 3 years before Apple's ATT rollout, describing a fallback telemetry pipeline designed to survive any device-level privacy control. The codename wasn't Conversions API. That was the public version, the sanitized product name shipped to advertisers. The internal system was a parallel data track, 2 pipelines running simultaneously. One through your device, visible to Apple, to regulators, to you. One through the advertiser's server, invisible to all 3. The reason this can't be shut down is structural. The FTC regulates Meta. It does not regulate every retailer that installs Meta's business tools. When a major retailer's server calls Meta's API, that is a business-to-business data transaction between 2 private companies. Your phone isn't in the room. Your consent isn't required. Meta's legal team understood this before ATT launched. The moment Apple announced App Tracking Transparency at WWDC 2020, Meta's engineering leadership had already been briefed on what CAPI could absorb. They knew the ATT rollout would hurt their stock. They let it, because they needed the story of a broken ad empire to buy time while they shipped the replacement. And the regulator never asked about the server. Here's what this means for your data right now. If you have shopped anywhere online in the last 3 years, any retailer running Meta Pixel or the Conversions API, Meta has a transaction record tied to your identity, not a probabilistic guess. A matched record linked to your Facebook or Instagram profile by your email address or phone number, regardless of any privacy setting you have ever touched. That record includes product category, price point, time of purchase, and in many cases, the specific item. Meta's system uses that record to assign you to a behavioral cohort. Your cohort determines what ads you see, what prices you're quoted, and what content surfaces to keep you on platform longer. You didn't agree to any of this. There is no form you can file to remove it. The data is already inside their system, and it's still running. So who benefits from the FTC never closing the server-side loophole? Meta's lobbying spend has exceeded $100 million since 2019. Former FTC officials now sit on the boards of Meta's largest advertising partners. The consent decree meant to constrain this is enforced by a commission whose leadership is a political appointment. Meta didn't bury the tracking block by accident. Someone decided to leave that loophole open. The question is whether the people who were supposed to protect you left it open with them.